so good. So good. Oh, you guys are curious? This is our allegedly credible cup, and it's incredibly good to drink non-existent coffee from because I drank it all before this. But hey guys, welcome to another episode of Allegedly Credible. And if you didn't notice, we're looking at a camera because we're liars. And we said we weren't gonna do video, but it's 2021. Anything is possible. I'm here today. Melissa Pino is here today with my co-host.
Hey, it's Lady Faye. Just wanted to say hello. You know, I'm a little nervous, y'all. I don't even like being on video, but y'all kept saying you want to see us on video, so we made it a way for it to happen.
We made a way.
Yes,
with our pockets.
With our pockets. So.
And I'll pay you back.
I need y'all to donate. That's what we need.
Yeah. We're gonna have this is actually our tip cup.
Our tip cup. Put some
ching, 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 ching. We need some sound effects. Ching, 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 ching. That's the coin.
I'm gonna give you guys this overview. We're just two friends, and we're giving you our thoughts and opinions based on what we've learned through life thus far. I'm gonna give you this disclaimer too. Our thoughts and views are constantly evolving, and we are not experts, nor do we claim to be. We won't always agree with each other, and that is totally okay. We hope you guys take the advice you need, and whatever you don't, just throw out, and you're free to think however you want.
Facts.
Because we're only partly credible. Anyway.
Allegedly.
Today's topic, we're going to be talking about, this is going to be a two-part topic. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is meeting the family, and part one is bringing a significant other home. Part two, we're going to be talking about meeting your significant other's family. So we have special guests on. This is our brother podcast, and we were a guest last season on their podcast. They just wrapped up season 3, I do believe. Yes. And I'm gonna let them introduce themselves
because they're cool like that.
Yeah, so we're gonna start off with Francis over here. So tell us.
I'll let Chunky actually start since he's.
You're gonna let Chunky start? Okay, go ahead.
He's one of the hosts of the pod.
Okay.
So go ahead, Chunks.
Well, thank you, Francis. I appreciate that. Hello, everybody. I am Chunky, part of the JJC podcast. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're going to drop a link somewhere in here, knowing how things go. But if you want to follow us, we're at Jerk Jollof and Collar Pod on Instagram. I think we have a couple other things out there. Francis, correct me if I'm wrong. But nonetheless, I'm happy to be here. Is cursing allowed on this?
Yes.
I am fucking happy to be here tonight.
Oh my god! Everybody. Hey, Chunky's mic actually.
No. Shout out to the rest of the crew that we have: Dre, D Black, G Ransom. Now it's your turn, Francis.
Yeah, what's up, everyone? I'm the cool-headed one, not Chunky. What's good? Well, thanks for having us. You guys are awesome. I really love what you guys been doing, and I feel really special to be part of your episode. Yeah. So let's get into it.
We just want to let you know we love you guys too.
For real.
All right, hey, I follow your journey, and I see what you're doing with your fitness, Mel. You killing it. I mean, Danielle, sorry.
Oh,
you are killing it.
Thank
you. You're killing it. I'm always on IG liking. I'm like, yo, she is killing it. Keep going, girl. I see you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, let's dive into the topic. Yes. Okay, so first of all,
how you doing, girl?
I'm doing well, thank you very much. So, in general, I guess I'll ask the guys first. Francis, are you more public or private about your love life?
It's kind of funny because when people meet me, they see me as this go-lucky, go-happy, outgoing guy, and they think I'm very public with my relationship, which I am to some extent. But so I like to post my wife more on IG, post pictures and stuff. But that's really about it. As far as the things that's happening in our lives, I'm really really private with that stuff. I like to really for me, the reason I don't really like to share stuff on social media or even to with friends it's more to really protect my wife, right? And to also to protect our relationship and really just kind of keep things abreast, just really between me and her. And the issues that we have in our household, we keep it in the house and we kind of deal with it, and, you know, as a family, which I know some people have different feelings about that, and we can kind of get into it. But I think there's a limit to, you can share stuff, and I think there's a limit to where you can overshare information. So that's kind of where I am with that.
Right. What about you, Chunky? What about you? What are you more private or public with your
Wait.
love life?
Before we answer that, before you answer that question, can you guys both tell us your relationship status, if you don't mind, for the listeners?
Yeah, so I guess I can go first. So I've been with my wife for about, you know, 6 to 7 years, but I've been married for about 2 years. So we've so I'm married, obviously. So been off the street out
You
for a
don't
minute now.
any
You
longer.
know. Go ahead, Chunks.
Married. So duration of time, it's not anybody's business. How I
There
am
we
in my love
go.
life. I, of course, being married, it's public to an extent. Like, yeah, I'm married, but what I do inside the four walls of my home is my business between me and my wife. So I don't talk about like, oh, this is what we do, this is how we get down, this is how she slides down the pole if she chooses to do so.
Hey, that part.
So I'll tell you who she is, whatever, but I'm not a social media fiend, so I'm not posting like, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm at, oh, this food is delicious at this spot. It's just that, you know, we do everything together, and what I like is just that the communication that we have between one another. So like I said, if someone asks, we'll tell them, but nonetheless, the rest of it is none of your business.
Oh, I completely
Yeah. Yeah, so like that's the difference between Chunky and I. So Chunky doesn't post anything. I like to post stuff on IG. You know, like if me and my wife travel somewhere, you know, I could post like a picture here and there, like, hey, this is what we doing. We just had this dope restaurant. We just had this meal. But Chunky is like cold. Just it doesn't. You
But it's
can't
like,
find
why
it.
though? It's just like, I'm gonna
I
enjoy
mean,
this. It is
right.
delicious to me. If you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. But I ain't gotta show you.
But you know
I mean,
what?
I don't know.
Being in the wife seat, it's like it depends on the girl, because I know my husband's probably similar to you, Chunky, because you probably wouldn't even see me. I haven't been on a single post in years.
I know. I don't see you.
Exactly. So like, and if I do get mentioned on a post, it's probably like, oh, it's a birthday, let me go and shout her out real quick.
I mean, that's respectable.
Yeah, I mean, like, but if he did, I'd be like, oh wow, but that's because it's different than normal. But if that was an everyday thing, I would still like it, because I don't mind being in the public eye. Henceforth, I'm on this podcast. But yeah, it depends on the person. It's all good, because I know he cares in his own weird ass way.
You know, on the line of Chunky, like, I'll put it this way. Well, I'm single, first of all. I've been single for nobody wants me anyway, but that's whatever.
No,
I don't know about all that.
But you were
just
just
messing,
talking
I'm
about your
just joking, I'm
fitness
just
goals.
Hey, girl, what's
Any-
girl, what's your name? What's your number? What's up?
So yeah, but I'm very, very private about my love life. Like, nobody have ever dated. My parents have never met anybody I've ever dated. They don't. If they know about them, that's a miracle in and of itself. So I'm very private, and I wouldn't want them posting me on their page. Like, I'm okay with them not shouting me out.
Wait, if they did, will you tell them to take it down?
I don't know if I would tell them to take it down.
Ooh, awkward.
I'd probably be like, did you? I need permission. Like, I don't know.
I didn't get consent.
Can you sign this disclosure form for me,
Yes,
please?
like, you know, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh wow, like, does your family know about me? Like, that's how because I'm like, oh, I'm not
So
ready.
freaking
You know,
weird.
don't tag me. Well, in all
It's
fairness,
It's just different.
it's my parents are ministers, and I don't want church people knowing my life.
Do church people even go on Instagram?
It doesn't matter if somebody.
they do.
but church people
Church
gossip
people are
though.
nosy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like if they know that somebody, if they like, oh, I heard from my granddaughter that so and so Danielle's dating so and so. I'm like, oh my god, like I don't even want to answer.
Mind your
questions.
flipping business.
Nah, that's not how that
I'm
works.
very private.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very private about my love life. Like I don't like anybody to know. Like I said, if my siblings know about them, I feel like the only reason my siblings know I might be dating somebody is because I act differently.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, I'm not because I tell them.
Okay.
This ghost.
Stank on her.
You know what? I was just talking to one of my really close friends last night, and one thing I do appreciate about social media, though, is a way to kind of keep up with your friends, because we are super busy.
That's true.
And like we don't have time to hit up. I was just I feel guilty sometimes, because when my friends hit me up, I'm like, man, he called me again, and I get to reach out to him. But like social media, when you post stuff on your story or you post stuff on your wall, it gives you like an opportunity to even respond to it, and you get a chance to just check in on that person. So for me, like, I just learned it counts. It's a form of another set of communication that we can have with our friends, and another tool we could use to kind of keep up with friends.
So what you can't see here.
Yep.
I'm searching in my pocket for the BS card on Francis.
Oh my god! Yeah, hey, you know what, Chunky? I know you don't even be on social media, so
no,
it's just like I know where you live.
Pretty much, it's just like if I want to reach out to you, I'm gonna reach out to you directly. So now I know not to call you, because now I know you screen my call. So you're just like, damn.
Well, sorry, Chunks.
I
still love you.
My feelings. I love you too, but no, I feel you on that. But I think, yeah, as we get older, we get more busy. But at the same time, it's just like, just shoot a text. So even then, it's just like, being that we're all professionals, we do everything via calendar invite. So I'll be damned to say that I don't put a calendar invite to myself or a reminder saying, oh, let me just text this person today. So like there's times that I think about it, I don't get around to it, but I utilize those tools to make sure that I'm keeping in contact with certain people. But some people I may not talk to in like 3 or 4 months, and they text me and we pick up where we left off like 3 months ago, like we haven't skipped a beat. So for me, I don't know. To me, social media is an excuse not to catch up with someone, because you can see their posts and completely ignore, like, oh man, I haven't been on social media in like 8 months, when you've been posting left and right.
I'm not saying you should be on social media. I don't want to turn it to social media, so I'll let the ladies go take over this convo.
Okay, let me call you out. So, my next question is, since we're going this anyway, so how far does it take? Like, how long does it take you before you tell your friends and family that you're even like dating somebody, or even think about introducing them?
Yeah, so for me, it's like, I think it really depends until I know the relationship is really stable and serious, and it's not just a fling. But as far as my friends, my friends, if the girl is cute enough, I feel like she'll definitely be around with the boys, because one thing I like the girls that I date to be really friends, to be close to my boys. So their friendship is really critical to like my just my day to day. And the one thing that I really enjoy about my wife is she sometimes texts my friends more than I do, which I like, because it gives me a way to kind of keep up with them too. Because if I don't hit them up, she calls them, and when we talk. So for me, that friendship between my partner and my friends is critical. But so they get to meet her way before my parents do. My parents is like way in advance, and you have to be like, I know this girl. This is going somewhere. And my parents only met 2 girls that I've ever dated. So that says a lot.
So do you tell them about them at all though? Or you just don't tell them until you know you're bringing them home?
No, I don't tell them until I know, like, okay, I actually really like this girl, and I think I'm going to pursue this and see how far we go.
It's got to be well established.
Okay. What about you, Junkie?
I'm completely different. It's completely different.
What's new?
So when it comes down to my friends, like, I was shocked to hear Francis say, like, if she's ugly, no one's gonna find out about her. I was like, oh man.
I mean, hey, let's not joke now. One time you could get one of those late night drunk nights. So.
But that's the one I see compared to like dating. Those are.
It's not even dating if you're one night thing.
Well, what about if you hit her back up again?
That's what we call a booty hole. So,
That's my point, though. Keep going.
but like, so we're talking about like someone that you're in a relationship with, not someone that you're just hitting up to get some yams from. So
I'm going to the grocery store and pick up some yams real quick.
hey,
Get those yams.
yams. So for me, I let my friends know because they're my friends and they're able to gauge that character. So doesn't matter how she looks, no matter who she is, like my friends should know about this person. So I'm not secretive to that extent. When it comes down to meeting like family members or the most sacred person in my family, I haven't brought too many females around. I agree with Francis on that end. It's just like, it's not as special if I'm bringing every girl I've been dating around a family member. It's like, all right, cool. I see where this is going. This can go somewhere. So let's see what my family thinks. And depending on their interaction, lets me know like, all right, this person's good or not good, but that's not like the totality of the circumstances. So if I bring someone around and they don't like her, it's just like, cool, that's whatever. But if I know like there's some issues, there are like a shit ton of red flags there, I kind of just like, I just ignore it. Like, yeah, I know it's a bad idea, but like I'm gonna be around her for a while. So
Right.
this is where we're at.
I got you. Oh wait. Mellow die.
He said if there's a whole bunch of red flags, he's just like, yeah, you didn't see anything.
Pretty much. These aren't the droids you're looking for. Let's keep moving forward.
Mind your business.
Pretty much. I'm gonna do me, and you just stay over there and don't worry about it.
So like, what is a safe amount of time? Like, you've been dating for 3 months, you've been dating for 6 months, a year. Like, what's a safe amount of time?
I don't think there's no time limit. I think it's like, it depends on the person, right? So
Okay.
I can be dating you. You can be like a truly awesome person that I met, and it could be like 3 or 4 weeks, and it's just like, yo, you're really dope. Like I can tell this is going to go the distance. Now, if it's like a year, pretty much it's not going to go anywhere. Before if you're not meeting my family within a year, like it's
You
a
know
done.
exactly the position that you hold.
Like you are a free
Exactly.
agent. You're going to get cut sometime soon. Just enjoy the team. while
Oh
you can.
man! Oh
Oh
boy!
wow.
Oh
See,
boy!
yo, I'm the opposite. Like my family ain't. We could be married with 3 kids already, and I'm not meeting.
Really?
I'm
I
not
just
meeting
think
my family.
that like
What?
you just
Really? Wow! I need to, come on. You gotta go
need
deep
to
in that.
rethink your decisions in life, Danielle. Because why? How you not gonna let your kids meet their grandparents?
That's
Yeah.
wild. That's
Yeah,
wild.
that's
They'll be
ass.
21. Grandma?
No,
Who's you?
You gonna be talking to Faye like, mind your business. You have
but
no
just-
grandparents.
No, I
Oh
don't mean like,
man!
I don't know. I just feel like okay, it would be rough. Like I think mentally,
You have
there's
to
some type
deal
of
with
mental
that.
block. There's some type of mental block for me to
Are
be
you
like,
ashamed of your family? Is that what
That's, ooh, she went there.
Ooh.
She went there.
Is this another episode?
Um,
Well, it's gonna be this episode because we're on it, so let's do it.
Yeah, let's dig
I
deep.
wanna know.
Let's do it. Yep.
I know where your mom lives. I'm gonna tell her. You better answer right.
you know what? I'm not necessarily like ashamed of my family. I don't know, like the whole idea of them meeting somebody I'm dating is just I don't know, it scares me. And I know I'm an adult. Like I've been an adult for a long time. Like
Like,
you afraid of?
it scares me.
yeah. What are you?
What are
scared
you
about?
afraid of?
Yeah.
Yeah, good question.
Like you afraid that I know it's not that you're afraid that they're not gonna like them. It's just that what they're gonna say about it. What's their opinion?
It might be their opinion. It might be like just the whole idea of like, you know what it is? I think it's just like I've had to. I don't know. That person's mine. I don't.
Oh,
I
got
don't
it.
want.
Okay.
You don't want to share?
Wow.
I don't know how to put it. Like
I don't think your family.
This is my booty. You can't touch it.
You come from a family of all boys. They don't want your dude.
I know that, but I'm just saying like something about like okay. For instance, my mom asked 50,000 questions. I don't know if I want her to ask him 50,000 questions. And I don't know how to be like, Mom, chill with the questions because my mom, you know my mom. So like
I think
Well,
that's
then you tell them like, hey, this is how my mom is. She's gonna ask
Nah.
you 50 questions.
Yeah, but
And you
I
just
don't
have
want
to
that.
just
So-
don't
He
take it
might be
serious.
cool with it, but I'm gonna be like, oh no, like.
But that may like make you love him even more. Like your mom's asking
Yeah,
you
what
like 50,000. He's just like hitting them all out the
It was
park.
just like, got it, bet. 50,000
Next question.
I have
Next question.
2001. Let's
And
go.
to follow up, we got this.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I bet you I'm telling you guys, if Danielle met someone that was able to handle her mom like they would need to, I think the visit to the parents' house would be cut short. It's like, well, we gotta go.
And you know what else?
We going back to the crib.
Like a lot of people are afraid of my mom's a nice lady,
Oh yeah.
but she's just like she has a very
Give me your mom impression. Let's see. We're gonna role play here. Let's do it.
no, I can't do it.
I am the man you brought home.
Oh yeah, we're not.
Let's
yeah,
do
we're
this.
not. We're not gonna role play again.
No.
Last time we role play on the
you
pod.
do it,
This is
Danielle,
not
I'm not here. If
no
you
role
do it,
play.
I'm not here.
I can't intimidate. I would need the glasses because my mom
She
stares
got-
very intent.
Oh
Like
man.
no, I don't
She'd
have
be
the
like,
Is your mom a teacher or something? She
of
can give you that.
course, of
Yes, my mom is a
course.
teacher.
Was oh man, see,
what-
yeah, I get it. But still, come on.
So both my parents. So here's the thing: both my parents are teachers. Both my parents are ministers. I just feel like that's a lot of pressure to. It's not even necessarily for me. It's also for them because I feel like that's a lot of pressure to come into a family of. Does that make
Nah.
sense?
You talking
It
about
makes-
for your partner?
Yes.
It makes sense, but it's just like you kind of have to like deal
It's
with
gonna
it,
have to
right?
happen.
So,
Yeah,
like,
it's
all
gonna-
right,
it's gonna
So
happen.
hear me out. Like being a dude or a man or whatever we want to call myself in 2021, a tank.
I identify as a dump truck.
Pretty much. So like if I'm walking into that situation, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm about to get burnt to the 10th degree as a secure, mature, and confident man.
Mhm.
Give me what you got.
Mhm.
Let's see where I'm at. Because one thing to prove to them, like, oh well, he's worth your time, number one. And
Mhm.
number two, you get to see how I interact in a setting with people I never met before that's going to grill me. So
Yeah.
that gives you more confidence in the man that I am without having to say it to you, like, oh, I can do this, this, and this. But I just proved to you that I can take 1,000 questions and answer them all successfully and walk out the door and then high five you later. Because
No,
I
dead ass.
knocked that shit out the
So
park.
just to bounce off of that wonderfully stated, you know, so Taryn went to go meet my family, and my family, you know, it's not teachers, but my dad is sensitive, and I wouldn't say protective, but my dad is sensitive, and my mom is very cool, calm, and collected.
Mhm.
So when he went to go meet my parents, my mom was the more inviting one, and my dad was just like, okay, like it is what it is. My daughter's at that age, she's gonna go and meet dudes. And then if there was an issue, Taryn would have to go through me and my mom in order to ask my dad a question, because the pressure was just like, and it wouldn't be a confrontation on Taryn's end. It would just be my dad be like, are you being disrespectful? You're out of line, or whatever. I don't know, some dumb stuff.
Yeah, I see.
And you know, the fact that he wasn't afraid of my dad when we were always like trying to protect him and his feelings, like I actually respected Taryn more, because he was just like, it's not like it's just another person, but you know, I'm gonna have to commune with this guy some way, some point.
Right.
And then my dad actually respects Taryn, and now he tells Taryn to put me in my place, and I'm just like, damn, now I got two dads. So I think that is
Wicked
something that
twist.
you need to think about.
I'm gonna work on it. It's just hard. Like for instance, like when I was seeing somebody that I was a little bit more serious about, like I didn't really tell anybody about it. I think they just kind of guessed, and then I kind of didn't tell my parents about it until it was already over. Like, so my mom was like, "You were seeing somebody this whole time. You didn't say anything," and I was just like, "No." And then she asked every single person in the family, "Did you know she was seeing somebody? No, did you know?" And it was like, it's nothing against you. It was just kind of like, I don't know. I needed to figure it out myself. I think that's the other thing. Like, I just want to figure everything out myself before somebody gives me their advice or
You
their
know
opinion
what?
on certain
That's
things.
the whole
Makes sense.
control issue, though.
I am a controlling person, but guys, don't.
Oh.
Let's move on. Let's talk about.
Oh no, we're stuck on this one.
I mean, Danielle, I do agree with you though, because I've done that before. So like,
Great.
'cause my first girlfriend in college, I didn't tell my parents about it, but I did tell my mom about it after it was over. And it was funny, but because she told me, it was like, well, thanks for telling me, and I went, probably don't tell your dad about it. That's what she told me. Yeah, because my parents my mom is very religious as well. Like she's like damn near a pastor, you know. But she's not. But like that's how like her relationship with God is. And to tell her about like potentially having sex and talking about like that was a taboo conversation growing up. So I understand like bringing a conversation about, oh, I'm dating this girl, like it's tough.
Yeah.
So I understand like the pressure that you may be that comes with that.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I'm
Well,
I was just laughing.
I'm not condoning. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's okay.
Get it.
At this
It's
point,
okay, but
we
it's
need
not.
yeah.
Yeah, I need
We
to
need to
work
do
through
it.
that. I need
Yeah.
to work through that.
And
but
that's
it's
why
just
we're allegedly credible.
don't ever do it.
I just thought it was funny.
Hey,
Like,
do what I say, don't do what I do.
do as I say, not what I do. I don't know, Francis. You said like you talk about sex. Like I remember my dad came to me about that. Let's talk about sex. Like that, I've been fucking. Like, like what do you?
Wow.
Nothing you can really teach me, but okay.
Jesus. I mean,
Yo, I mean, deadass, I never really had a sex conversation with my parents. It never really happened. I kind of like just kind of found my way around the block.
I think
you go onto the streets. You don't know.
I didn't mean it like that. I'm just saying I had to learn on my own. Then obviously the only thing my parents ever said was, "Don't bring a pregnant girl home."
Oh yeah,
So
that's
I'm like,
the
yeah.
same thing with our parents. Like we don't want to be that pregnant girl.
But you know what? What it is also why I think about now that I'm thinking about it more. My parents were very open about talking to us about sex, and it made me uncomfortable. Like it would make me be like, I need to censor you guys from talking to me about it. So I think that's why I'm like also like, man, because I know how awkward those conversations was, I don't want to have an awkward conversation of like, oh, here's my part. Like, I don't know. It's just
that's weird. I mean, like my parents were open too, but I feel like, well, your parents are always trying to teach you something. Like you're just a straight PBS kid. Like I just gotta say what I said what I said. On to the next question.
Okay. So since you guys have talked to you have wives and everything, I'm assuming that you brought your partners home. Like, how was that the first meeting? How did that go?
Chunky, you can go first.
Okay, cool. It went really well.
Oh, I was gonna say that's it. It
went well. Bye.
Yes, thanks. You're good. Approved. I'm on my way back.
I'm glad.
So yeah, it wasn't an issue. Like, so I brought her around my grandmother, who to me was like the most important figure of my family, who makes all the approvals. And like my grandma doesn't really like anybody. Like she hates me some days.
My grandma, I feel you on that.
So she really liked her. She was like, hey, bring her around again, bring her over for dinner. I want to talk to her. And then when I knew that she really liked her, like, so you know how it is being like a grandkid, like going back home, like either you get food or money, like either one.
That's it.
So this is what happened. We went, we ate, had a good time, and she slipped her money and not me.
Wait. Back it up. So how did you feel in that moment that you didn't receive grandma's gift?
You want me to be brutally honest or like be...
Because I know, I mean, I'm
jealous.
the oldest grandchild. So if that, I mean, I feel like it has happened and I just didn't know about it, but I'm curious to see what it's like when you actually see it.
I saw the hand-to-hand transaction. I was like, what the fuck? And I just sat there. But realistic, I was like, man, this is awesome. So like that's really like strong approval. I was like, all right, I have nothing else to worry about at this point. So I knew like everything was solidified, that there was nothing else to like.
Did you propose to her like that night? Like,
Oh.
She's the one. Game over.
my proposal story, like we'll save that for later on. It was completely different. Anyway, nah, it was just like cool. Like I like that approval, and like no matter what anyone had to say in the family, it didn't matter. I had the ultimate yes, and I just moved forward from there. So it was a really, really good interaction.
That's
cool.
good. Mm-hmm. And how did your partner react to like that, like to meeting your family?
Oh, so
Was she scared or?
no, my wife wasn't scared because she dealt with me, and I'm like,
She was ready.
I'm a different person to deal with.
Equipped.
Yeah, she was like,
Right.
"Oh, if I can handle him, I can handle the entire family," which she did. It was just like, she didn't feel uncomfortable. They were really nice to her. They were just like, "Well, you know, if you love him and you want to be with him, that's fine by us." Like, I don't have a family that's just like, "Oh, if you do this to him, this is your consequence." It's just like, there's a reason why he picked you. We trust his judgment. Just do the right thing. Just they told her to keep me in line. So
See, don't you? I don't want to say, but isn't that some shit? like you literally let this stranger enter your house, and now you telling the stranger to keep me in check. You don't even know who this chick is.
you gotta maybe we'll do more podcasts on the line, but once you get to know who I am, it was very fitting to be like,
Let's just say
man
Chunk is a
loose
wild
cannon.
man.
Yeah, so it was good. She was happy. She had no complaints, and we got back in the car, and she gave me that look like I fucking told you so.
I told you they're gonna like me.
Yeah,
You're
so
gonna love me. You're gonna like me.
exactly.
Love
Loved
me.
her.
They love me.
What about you, Francis? How did
Yeah.
it go meeting the family? Oh, it didn't go well.
Mine was tough, man. You know, okay, so this is the thing, right? So my parents are, so I'm first generation African, Nigerian born. So like, so my parents wanted, you know, I'm not trying to throw my parents on the bus, but they wanted me to be with a Nigerian girl. So they want, obviously, like a lot of us, we want to kind of sometimes stay within the culture. So in the last, the girl that I dated prior was Nigerian. So obviously they loved her, you know, and things didn't work out. So my wife, she's Hispanic, but she was adopted and have white parents. So she was raised white.
That's interesting. That's a nice swirl.
Yeah, she's raised white, but she's Hispanic. So it was really, so there was a lot of cultural dynamic there that I had to like talk to her about, like the do's and don'ts. Like, don't call my parents by their first name. Make sure you like in the Nigerian culture, we have something where you kneel to greet somebody older than you. So
Okay.
that was another conversation that I had with her. Like, you know, when you see my parents, they were like, you will automatically gain like 10 points when you see them and you just kneel to say I to them. And she did that. But I think where I went wrong with that first visit was I put a lot of pressure about that visit because it was like, you know, I set up the whole date with my parents. Like my parents knew we were coming. We knew the time we were coming. You know, like, you know, it was kind of like it wasn't like one of those easy setting where like maybe like a wedding or something and you could just dip out. You know,
Right.
so it was a high stress, introductory setting. So, and I think in a way I kind of put a lot of pressure on my wife where she felt somewhat like come be herself a little bit because she was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I say something wrong. And somewhat, and I feel like maybe I felt like I had to like pretty much do a lot of damage control throughout like for the first few months of us dating. For the first few months of them meeting because, my parents didn't fully understand, some of the, like if she likes them or like, just some of the like just some of the cultural stuff. Like, do you think she'd be okay to handle some of this stuff like that? And so it was really interesting. But I really am proud to say, she adjusted and we were able to kind of figure out the relationship part of it over time. So, but yeah, that first day, I feel like I take the blame for it because I put a lot of pressure on my parents and I also put pressure on her. And in a way, I almost like pretty much messed the whole thing up with that level of the way I went about it, I think.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. And so like you kind of felt bad after like everything had happened. Like, how did you feel how did you feel like you had to fix it? Like, how could you fix it after that?
Yeah, it was tough though, because that's it was so bad, like, because my parents don't drink, stuff like that. And like, I remember, like, my wife felt like she couldn't even drink in front of my parents. Like, like, I remember there was a story where, like, the time my parents and her parents met, her mom was drinking wine like in a cup, because she didn't want my mom to know that she was drinking, because of that's kind of like how much pressure, because I kind of like did it where they thought like they couldn't even drink in front of my parents, where my parents didn't care if they were drinking. My parents would not supply you with alcohol, but if you are drinking, having it in front of them, they don't mind, they don't care. They're not going to tell you what you can and cannot do.
You're a
But that was,
disgrace.
yeah, so like, so they didn't, so they feel like they couldn't know what is appropriate and what is not appropriate. And so what I had to really do to fix it is really just taking it one day at a time, make sure they get to know each other, like, really, and kind of get out of the way. I had to get out of the way. So now they interact with each other directly and kick me out of the way. Like, Francis, we got this. They have a great relationship now, but that first few months after they met, I was doing a lot of damage control, and yeah, it was kind of tough initially to be honest about that.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. And Mel, when your parents first met Taryn, how did that go?
Okay, so when Taryn first met my parents, it wasn't all together. I actually took him over my house because I had to go pick up my brother and sister who were like 12 and 17 years younger than me. I had to pick them up from school, and I introduced him to my mom over the phone. I was like, "Hey mom, I'm talking to this guy right now." And he takes the bus, and we just started dying laughing. The bus, because I'm from the suburbs. We don't. The only bus we're taking is to and from school, like the school bus. He's like, no, he takes the city bus.
No, he didn't.
I was like, I don't even know how to use that. And, that was just the icebreaker right then and there. So my mom was very open and inviting, like I said. And Taryn's just like, yo, y'all are weird. and he told my mom that straight up. He's just like, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with her, but yeah, I take the bus, and yeah, she drove me here. It is what it is. And then I was glad that I had to break it up because my mom is the only one that can speak to my dad. Like, they have this whole language thing that I'm just like, maybe I am too disrespectful. Maybe I just have no chill. But when he met my dad, it was kind of a little bit of tension, but it wasn't anything too uncomfortable. It was just like, hi, I'm Mel's dad. Nice to meet you. And then he would just like go ahead about his business. Like, I don't even know the conversation that they had. Like,
So it didn't grill him?
huh?
Well, it did not grill him. He just said, "Hi, bye."
Like, my dad's not a griller. Like, the only type of grilling my dad does is on the barbecue. Like, my dad doesn't really. My dad doesn't grill
Bars.
people.
Bars.
My dad will like kind of grill you through time. Like, he wants you to show and prove the type of person that you are, and then the more comfortable he gets with you, you know that he's comfortable if he asks you to do stuff. If he asks, he's like, you know what? I need your help moving my mother out of her apartment. Can you do that? Oh, thank you. Oh, I need help picking up my children from school. Can you do that? Oh, you're busy? Do it anyway. It's fine. You're fine.
Yeah, that's love right there.
Yeah.
That's different.
That's love.
I remember this one time when they finally met together. I invited him over to my house, and we were just like watching TV, and Taryn and I were sitting on the couch, and on the couch we're literally just holding hands, and my dad calls me into the kitchen, and she goes, Mel, no touchy touchy. I'm like, I am 20 something years old. No touchy touchy. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, but What?
It was in his house.
It is. Yeah.
His house is rules.
Well, I mean, like,
I
exactly.
I met him when I was 18, so it was probably within like the same year. So okay, so yeah, I was a young adult, but no touchy, Dad. Like for real, like you don't even know.
I respect that.
You don't even know the type of girl
I don't think
born.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
But I was just like, okay, Dad. No touchy, but guess who's driving this one home?
Oh boy. Oh boy. She went there. Oh, she went there, Chunks. She went there.
Hey, I mean, you gotta hold your own.
That's why we have 2 kids.
I get it. You gotta do what you gotta do.
No comment for that one. Respected.
But Taryn was very respectful. Taryn knew when to. Taryn talked only when he was talked to, and then but he knew to crack jokes with my mom because if he cracked jokes with my dad, I was like.
That sounds like the grunt of acceptance.
No, if it's a grunt, it's just like it's disdain.
I mean, every dad has.
I love you, Dad. Even if you don't show that you love me all the time.
So here's the thing. So if you had a partner that did not, or okay, let me start it this way: if your family did not like your partner, would you still date them? And vice versa, if your partner did not like your family, would you still date them?
Oh,
and I'll start with Chunky on that one.
All right, so I got a couple of follow-up questions for that.
Okay.
But one, if my family doesn't like my partner, I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
That's me. It's my business. Is what I do. And the follow-up question, do they not like them for a particular reason, an actual reason, hey, this person is so good for you because of something legitimate. We can see that she's taking advantage of you. She's only with you because of whatever reason. At the end of the day, it's going to fall apart because we've seen these things, or is it just we just don't like her because we don't like her?
I guess. I don't know, because there's so many different reasons why families don't like.
Okay, well,
partner, but
because that would make the difference.
Yeah.
Because if they if my family didn't like my partner because they were abusing me in some way, shape, or form, then it would open up my eyes. But then I'm looking at myself why didn't I see this? Are you sure they're abusing?
I don't know that black eye will tell the story.
Are you sure? I mean, I did just hit this wall.
Boy.
This door came out of nowhere.
I mean, come on.
Well,
I tripped and fall.
I tripped and fell.
Damn stairs.
Let's say they had specific concerns. Let's say they had concerns I feel like she spends too much, or something I feel like she's too uppity for you, or something like that. Would that be a problem for you, or you just be whatever?
I was gonna be they're too uppity for me. Do you fucking know me? I don't know.
No, I'm not exactly uppity.
Yeah,
those things was just
along the lines of that.
Yeah, Chunky.
I was just saying, you're just in character. Do you not know my character? I'm just messing. If it's something like that, then it's just oh well, she has a higher level of taste for things than you do, and you can't financially support it. Okay, well, that's a valid point. If in college, I wasn't making that much, and it's just I can't keep up with this. I'm gonna go broke chasing this person. It's all right, thanks for the heads up. Let me go and talk to her. Hey, I financially can't support this habit. What are we gonna do about this? If you want somebody else, fine.
I need a high valued man in my life.
Go find that motherfucker somewhere else.
Oh boy.
I am high valued in a priceless sense.
Yeah.
Get him, Chunks.
So the answer, if my partner didn't like my family, then that will be a discussion.
Okay.
So there are some family members who I'm just cool, I don't like them either. That's okay.
Okay.
If there were other family members no, these are people that have been around, have supported me, and done great things for me. What is the real issue? And it depends upon her response. So if she's hey, the issue is we had a side conversation and they said this to me, I'm okay, I'm gonna get down to the bottom of it to figure it out. Or it's well, I don't like them because their face is always turned up. Well, my aunt has a gout. She's always upset. So let's move through that.
God made her that way.
Exactly. Like next.
Mind your business.
These aren't the joys you're looking for. Let's move on.
What about you, Francis?
Yeah, no, I think if my wife doesn't, or if my partner doesn't like my parents or my siblings, I think that's a no go for me. Because especially, well, I guess I'll ask her why and what she doesn't like about that individual person, or if it's just my culture or something about like the way my family operates or something, and she doesn't like it. And she can, because if she doesn't like it, then she doesn't like me, because I feel like my parents is a true extension of who I am. So if you don't mess with them, you don't fuck with them like that, then you don't fuck with me. So we could just cut it right now.
Oh, you cursing? Woo!
Yeah, I did, because it's that serious.
Family, I put respect on my
Yeah, put some
for
respect
the
on my
family.
Yep, don't mess with mine. So yeah, so I mean, that's truly how I feel. If you don't like my family, then it's a done deal. However, if my family does not like my spouse or like something about her, it has to be something real tangible. Like, what is it you don't like about her?
You don't
Like
even
I think Chunky kind of, what'd you say? Sorry.
I said, you don't even know her.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. If it's like, for example, if it's like the story I was telling you, my family, I thought the first date, the introduction went well, like just from a static, because my parents are good human being. They will be nice to you even if they don't like you, right? They just like are just wonderful people. So from a, just like it went well, but like there's just more like those kind of small details that you can just like, that my spouse and I kind of talk about, me and my spouse talk about later, that she kind of shared how uncomfortable she felt a little bit, and she felt like she couldn't be herself. But if my parents then tell me, oh my God, I didn't like the way she carried herself and blah blah blah, I'm like, man, I already know you guys are biased initially, so I can't even take that serious. So you got to tell me a true reason why you don't like her, like, and if it's something real, then I can consider that. But overall, I think you shouldn't just go by what your parents or your family say right off the bat and just cut your spouse off, because it's, at the end of the day, it's about you and her. You're
Right.
gonna live with that person. Not, you're not living with her, yourself, and your family. So you got to make sure your connection is what truly matters. At the end of the day.
Yeah, you're right. I think at this point, my parents be happy if I bring anybody home, so I don't think like
You know what? That's true too.
like, yeah, somebody's here. I'm gonna have grandbabies at some point eventually, maybe.
They have grandbabies.
You're right, they do, but
And they know that
It's
you're
not from
going to
there.
produce one.
They want one from you, though.
Exactly. Like they want a specific grandchild.
yeah.
We're going to get little Danielle's. Oh, wait, we have one.
I
Little
think he would
Mimi.
just be happy, but I don't know. Like, I think that's another reason why for me, I think that's another reason I'd be a little bit private at first, because I know that my family's opinion of whoever I'm dating isn't going to matter but so much. The only person where I'm like, you're gonna have to get along with them is my niece.
Oh,
like,
What?
if my niece doesn't like you, I can't be with you.
4-year-old?
Are you serious?
I'm dead ass. No, I'm joking.
I'm
I'm
gonna
joking.
say,
Oh, like,
do not put your life's relationship in the
if
palm of
you
your
were doing that,
I'm
you
joking.
missed out on a lot.
In
Because she goes back and forth with you, but that's really my ride or die right there. She protect me, but
Okay.
no,
That's because
I like
she
it, though.
do. That's not your niece. That's
But
your
no.
elbow, Danielle.
but no, like, I honestly am like, I don't think anybody now, if they didn't like my family, that would be a totally different story, because I'm very close with my family. People call us the Huxtables because of how,
They're
like,
so tight-knit.
how close we are
So
together.
tight-knit.
So
Their family is like Hallmark.
And you chose not to like introduce your partner to your family.
I think
sad.
it's a mixed thing. Like, it's like weird. It's like, that's my I'm
No,
just
you
so,
said it right. You
I
said
like
it right.
things separate. I just like things separate.
That's
I'm like
fine.
weirdo.
I feel it.
I'm
hurt. I'm hurt right now.
There is full judgment going on right here, just to let you know.
yeah, I was judging. I was
It's
judging.
fine. You can judge me. It's fine. I don't care.
Nice, nice.
I was about to say, I stay judging this chick. That's why I'm going to hell. No, I repent. I
No,
repent.
so the last question I have for both of you for this is, what is one thing that you like were like, please, to about your partner, that you're like, please, please, please do not do this in front of my family. Please do not embarrass me. When you do it with me, it's fine, but don't do this in front of my family. Is there anything? We'll start with Francis. Is there anything?
Mine was, don't call my parents by their first name.
Well, who does that?
No,
Who calls their
no.
parents by, like, who calls other people's parents by their first
There are
name?
people who do that.
Oh, people do all the time.
Oh,
Like people,
I was
don't
gonna say
I
white
don't.
people.
Well, Americans.
Oh,
do
wait,
it.
Yo, I will reach through the
I mean,
screen and grab you, Francis.
I'm about to say, I don't
it's more- it's
call.
more-
I never called anybody's
Oh,
parents by.
nope.
Unless they told me
yeah.
to, and I still feel uncomfortable. But
Mhm.
I
I
always
feel
say
it,
Mrs.
yeah.
Whoever, mom, dad.
Yep.
Right. It's not. I think it's less popular in the Black community, but like in
Because
other
we're scared
culture,
of that back.
Yeah, man.
That back fist.
Yep. Like, nah, strong
Yeah.
pass.
So that was like the first. I was like, do not do it. Don't do it, because then I gotta hear about it, and I ain't trying to deal with that, because that's just no go. So because like in the American culture, I'm talking American culture, Chunky, not. It's acceptable to call people by their first name. It's not. It's no. It's more of a cultural thing. Like if it's your household culture, like in your family, in your culture of your family, extended families. If you guys don't do that, but I think as a American culture, though, I think it's acceptable to call each other by first name.
What?
I don't know. I that's I'm. Like I said, first generation Nigerian. I don't know, but what I've observed
He's new out here in these streets.
in my 25 plus years.
So let me correct you there, sir.
Okay, tell me, Chunks.
There has not been
Chunk.
one instance where I've gone over anybody's house and called their parents by their first name, no matter what ethnicity they are. Like, it's not even a fear of getting hit. It's just like it's so disrespectful, because it's like, all right, you are the parent, so I would extend the same respect for my parent as I would for you. So I'm not gonna be like, oh, hey Jim, hey Nancy, how are you doing? Like, no, Mr. and Mrs. such and such, it is an honor to be in your home, and it's an honor to speak to you. And if they like, oh, you can call me Jim, like, all right, Mr. such and such, like,
Yo, but maybe it's a Midwest thing then, because I feel like some people actually are uncomfortable with that. Because I call my wife parents by by Mr. and Mrs. And her mom wish I call her by her first name. She wants me to call her by her first name, but it's uncomfortable for me to do it. But I feel like it must be like a Midwest kind of deal.
I was gonna say something.
I don't know.
No, say it.
Say it. Do it.
Send it.
I was like,
if you say it,
why? You know why?
Why?
You know why they were so comfortable with that? Because of
what? Say it. I don't.
Because they're white. Like, that's just what it is. Like, because it's a different culture, and there's nothing wrong with it. But it's just something that there's just some things out here that we will not understand, and that's why we have to accept each other's differences. And that's why we're totally inclusive here in this.
That's real though. I guess I didn't.
I didn't realize. Okay, I said it.
Thank you.
Okay, it's a white American thing.
It's a white.
Why are you trying to be politically correct? So
shout out to the white people.
we love our white people. We need our white friends.
No one said we didn't like them. We were just being honest. It's like, it's a different culture.
It's just different. They different.
Yeah, but good to know though. I don't know. I mean,
that's why we're informing you.
Yeah. But like I say, it's a regional thing too. Must be a regional thing too. Though.
Right.
So I'm gonna leave it alone because I'm gonna have too much fun with you.
Hey, Chunky, answer the question.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Please don't do this in front of my parents, please.
I would say it's just don't check me, right? So my wife has a strong habit of like correcting me, and like pretty much is like, no, you're wrong. This is what this is. And like being honest with my wife, I was like, okay, you're right. I'm just going to be quiet. And it's just like, for years, I've tried to establish myself in my family. Do not take this away.
Don't mess up this reputation I got going on.
This is all I got. Don't take it away from me.
Thank you, yo. The secret is out, bro.
Yes.
The secret's out.
No.
Give me a hand signal. Like, I'm wrong. Okay, thank you. We'll talk about this in the car later, but just don't check me right now.
Yo, for real though, like for this question, I couldn't even tell you. Like, there wasn't there for when it was my significant other meeting my family. There was no holds bar. The only thing I would say is, don't check my dad.
Okay.
Don't check. But anything to me, like, even though I was gonna feel butthurt, and because unfortunately I'm very prideful out here, and I'm working on it. I'm finding my relationship with God, and He is working wonders on me. But
Amen.
honestly,
Amen.
It's not pride. It's appreciation for who you are and your individual self.
Yes, and Taryn will check me day and night, don't matter who's looking at me. There's no, we're gonna talk about this in the car. It's like, no, we can handle this right now, okay? I'm just like, and I do the same thing. Like, I used to beat him up in front of his family. I
Jeez, oh my God.
You would think like they would, if they didn't like me, is because that I was the physical abuser. But it was all love, and I stopped putting my hands because we have to protect.
So that's like the 8th love language.
My 8th love language is touch, physical touch. Physical touch.
Oh my God, you and Chuck will get along.
Yes,
Chuck loves that.
I definitely changed up my bad habits, and not because he told me not to do that, but I was sick and tired of everybody else looking at me like crazy. It's like, you need to stop putting your hands on him. You need to protect these young Black men out here in America. And I was like, you know what?
Hey, come on, you do need to
right.
Did you put your hands up against us? Like, oh, so you want me to put my hands on you then?
I mean, I'm always ready to square up.
There it is.
From the suburbs.
From the mean streets of Short Hills.
I was one of 6 Black people in my school.
Oh man.
So I get sent in. It's hard out here. We're actually in my hometown right now. I never come here. Like this.
We just sound like someone's gonna call you out, like you ride around the street. Hey, Bello!
Don't speak too loud. They might hear you.
We were related and everything. That's a whole nother episode, but
So the last question, was there anything that you didn't want your parents to do around you that was like embarrassing or anything?
How am I gonna go and tell my parents? How am I gonna tell my, like, Mom, I would really appreciate it.
Not that you have to tell them not to, but you just wish that, like, please don't do this. Like, please, like, it's just nervous. Like,
I would never.
No,
I would never. Like, I would never. That's just like automatic backhand.
Like, no.
The gall.
No, I didn't tell them anything. I was like, if I tell them not to do something, they're going to do it.
They're gonna do it. Okay,
you know your audience.
You're right. So
I didn't tell my parents not to do it, but I told them to not do it in front of her, because my mom loves to bring old pictures out, like pictures from like when you were like 12, and I'd be like, Mom, do not do it. And they was like, no, come here. And she like grabs everybody and they sit around the table.
She's so proud of you.
I was like, no, do not do it. I was dusty.
That's like the best part though.
What
high school.
What status are you in the relation? Like, do you have brothers and sisters? Like, are you the oldest? Or
I'm the oldest, yeah. I'm the oldest.
She's so proud of you. My mom, I wish my mom would show me off like that. They just forget that Peyton exists.
I was like, no, she was embarrassing me, man.
They definitely are embarrassing me. We all grew up together.
Like, stop showing those dusty ass.
Nah, the way you look at that, it's just like, yo, I was a beautiful kid then. So if we have kids, our children are going to be beautiful.
Oh, Bond, definitely.
Go ahead and show them. That's it.
Hey, that's what you working with. These are jeans.
All right. So on that note, we end every episode with a top 3 words of advice. So what would be your top 3?
What's the top 3 takeaways of
like
this episode?
Advice, like what would you tell people if they're bringing home
and they're nervous and want to be like Danielle and thinking about not even doing it?
Yeah, if you're giving me advice for bringing my significant other home for the first
My
time.
advice: don't be like her.
Facts. That part.
You can do better.
Oh man, Chunky, want to go first? What couple? And I
Nah, always end it. Go ahead, Fran.
Yeah. So one thing I would definitely say, be yourself. But don't be too much of yourself because you want them to learn you over time. So I know, like you don't want to be show 100% of you because they got to earn that, right? So and don't put too much pressure on it. I kind of share like what I did, and I put too much pressure on both parties, and it ended up kind of like adding additional layer of complexity to the whole thing. So don't add too much pressure on it. Be yourself, but not yourself. And lastly, I would say just have fun and smile, so they can see that beautiful smile of yours. So,
That's so sweet. That's so sweet. She'll keep smiling. Just keep smiling. Everything's gonna be okay.
Facts. It does. Always turn out well. Go ahead, Chunks.
Complete opposite on this end.
This is why we got these two for the episode.
I would say be yourself, right? So to me, I'm not going to BS. Like, why am I going to sit here and pretend to be someone that I'm not? Eventually, you're going to have to really deal with me. I'd rather know that up front. So when you bring your partner and you're going with your partner, be who you are naturally, right? Show that love and affection how you show it, because at some point, your family's going to have to accept that. If they don't, that's their loss. Second thing is, it's just like, it doesn't matter what your family thinks. What matters the most is your interaction with each other. There are people that's going to love your relationship and hate your relationship, no matter how successful and no matter how many times you fail in it. But it's how happy you are at the end of the night when you put your head on your pillow with your partner and how you feel with them. If you decide to put that pressure on them as the third thing, see how people perform. You just saved yourself a shit ton of time. Okay, these are my parents. This is how they are. This is how they interact. Are you going to deal with it? No, I'm out. Okay, cool. So when you actually get into a tough situation, whether it be finances, whether it be like just talking to each other, whether it's just like going out to go to dinner with friends, now you know how they interact in that situation. Now you know how they respond. Instead of waiting months or years to see that come out, you got it up front. Be you, be proud of who you are, and don't waste someone's time. When you go meet somebody, that's how you do it.
Chunky, I like that. I like that, Chunks.
All right, so go ahead, Chunky. Reintroduce your podcast again. Tell people where they can find it and where they can listen to it.
Oh man, you put me back on the spot. I wasn't ready for that one.
Wait. Why do you have any words of like advice?
I had nothing. I never brought anything.
I thought,
but exactly. I did. You totally I didn't say nothing for my takeaways.
Ooh.
Okay, then what's your takeaways then?
My first takeaway is to show up because people will ignore you. So it's important to shine bright and make sure that you get noticed. No, but yeah, I definitely agree more so with Chunky. Definitely be yourself, and haters gonna hate. Haters gonna hate. People gonna say stuff, and
I was a hater, y'all.
She's still hating on me because she didn't even want to give me my time to do my takeaway. She's about to end the whole thing.
Go ahead, keep going.
Definitely feel comfortable in your own skin because, like I said, haters are gonna hate. And if there is any type of I don't know how you say it, like if there's any type of conflict or people bring stuff to your attention that either could be true or seems completely off the wall, it's the same thing like we say for this podcast. You take what works and you throw out the rest, but you at the end of the day keep it moving. Make sure that you keep you and your partner first before anybody else, because like you said, that's the one you're going home with, Yeah, okay. I don't plan on sleeping with your dad.
Yet.
Well, you never know.
And definitely
We say-
don't call him by your first name.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Now you ready, Chuck? So
Now go and put
Thank you.
the
I
spotlight
appreciate
is
that
on you.
delaying for me to get myself together to blow this.
Trying to delete me out of this whole damn show.
That's messed
For
up, man.
shame.
You can come back onto our podcast and you can
You know
take
what?
the light
It's gonna
again,
be Jerk Jollof and Supremo.
Ooh,
Greens.
fire.
Color green.
Ooh,
Fire.
you know what? Go promote your promote it.
All right, cool. Yeah, you can check us out on Instagram at Jerk Jollof Pod. If you haven't listened to it, one thing I like to do is spell stuff out. So it's JerkJollofCollardPod on Instagram. Podcast episodes drop every Wednesday. Currently, we're on a hiatus, so we just finished season 3. We'll be back for season 4. We're looking at November 24th, I believe, is that Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
So yeah,
Short hiatus. It's much shorter than
Yeah,
ours.
we take long ones.
I'm about to say we taking this.
we're a glutton for punishment. But hey, thanks for having us on here. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We had a great time.
Yeah, we did.
And just so you guys know, you can always follow us at Allegedly Credible. We on Instagram and we're on Facebook too, and whatever.
We're
we
on
suck
all the
at
social medias.
and also you can listen to we air our episodes every Thursday. It's
Mhm.
available directly at midnight.
Mhm.
And also you can catch us directly on our website at www.allegedlycredible.com, where we're on all streaming platforms. And just so you guys know, please stay tuned for part 2. We're gonna keep our family on.
We gotta keep it going.
Mm.
It's gonna be meeting the family part 2. Meet your partner's
Me, yeah,
family.
the other side of it.
All right, so we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace out.
Peace.